Okay, so let's talk about the basic idea of functions and the graph of easy functions. Okay, graph of easy functions. Function is a very important topic for Math 30. Okay, Math 30. So this is a very good introduction. Okay. So what's the function? Okay, what's the function? Function, you have two sets. Okay, one is called domain, the other one is called the range. So there is a correspondence between domain and range. So the requirement is each element in the domain corresponds to exactly one element in the range. Okay, in the range. So let's look at an easy example. Okay, an easy example. So let's say x squared. Okay, let's assume x squared is the correspondence. Okay, correspondence. So if you have number 1 here, if x is number 1 here, so this relation correspondence will change 1 to 1 squared, so which is number 1. Okay, so this part is the domain, that part is the range. Okay, so you pick some numbers, you give some formulas or relations, correspondence, and you get the result. Okay, the result. So if you choose x as -1, right? We use the same function x squared. So we got -1, this is -1. -1 squared is also number 1. Okay, it's also number 1. Okay, so this is a function. Okay, there is a way to produce some new numbers. Okay, to produce some new numbers. So that's the function. Okay, that's the function. So now what's the notation of function? Okay, so we use f of x stand for the function. Okay, stand for the function. So let's look at a new example. So let's say f of x is x plus 2. Okay, is x plus 2. So we always use x for the numbers in the domain. Okay, sometimes it's also called the input for the function. Okay, so you pick some numbers, these numbers are the x. And then you follow some rules. Okay, so the rules are the function f of x. Okay, and then you get some output. Okay, you get some output. Okay, so suppose f of x is 1, then what is f of x? F of x will be f of 1. So this x will be replaced by 1 because the input is 1. And then on the other side, the formula side, x also replaced by 1. So we got 1 plus 2, 3. So if input is 1, output is 3. Okay, output is 3. So if input is 0, x is 0. Okay, so now what's the output? We write out f of 0. Okay, x stands for the input. F of x is the output. Okay, so input is 0. And f of 0 is, in the formula, x replaced by 0. So 0 plus 2 is 2. So output is 2. Okay, output is 2. So we use f of x stand for the output. Okay, output, the result of the function. Okay, the result of the function. So now let's talk about evaluate. Okay, so this is the harder example. Okay, this is a harder example. So the input is x, use letter x, and output is f of x. So what's the formula between input and output? Is this quadratic polynomial x squared minus 2x plus 7. Okay, plus 7. So any input you will get, this is input squared. X stands for input. So input squared minus 2 times the input plus 7. Okay? So we just replace x by the given number. So they are the inputs. Okay, they are the input. Okay, so this example, f of -5. Okay, f of -5. So what is f of -5? F of -5 is the output for input -5. Okay, -5. So f of -5 is -5 squared. So replace x by -5 minus 2 times negative 5 plus 7. Okay, plus 7. And then follow the orders of operations, right? Square first, 25. And then multiply, positive 10, 7. And you add them, you got 42. So f of negative 5 is 42. Okay, is 42. So if you are given f of a number, so you know this is the input for x. And then you also know the formula. Okay, you also know the formula, and you're looking for the output. Okay, you're looking for the output for this input, negative 5. Okay, negative 5. So now let's look at another example. Okay, so this is f of x, right? So x change to f of x. F of x is x plus 2. Okay, so every input increased by 2. That's the function. Okay, that's the function. Okay, so now let's look at these questions, right? These questions. So if x is 4, then what we got? F of 4 is 4 plus 2, 6. Okay, 6. So just change x to this given number 4. Okay, given number 4. So if x is 0, then we got f of 0 is 0 plus 2, which is 2. Okay, which is 2. So now let's jump a little bit. Let's go to this one. So if x is 4a, okay, x is 4a. So just replace x by 4a. So f of 4a is 4a plus 2. Okay, 4a plus 2. So this is the evaluation part. Okay, evaluation part. You replace x by whatever given. Okay, whatever inside the function. Okay, inside the function. Okay, yeah. Okay, so now let's talk about the graph of a function. Okay, so what's the definition of that? So definition is the graph of the function is a set of this kind of point, x comma f of x. So it's input comma output. Okay, yeah, so input comma output, we got the point in the coordinate plane. So you plot all the points, you got the graph of f of x. Okay, so graph of f of x is the set of all this kind of points. Okay, also this kind of points. So before we talk about the graph, let's go back to the coordinate plane. Okay, let's go back to the coordinate plane. Definition of coordinate plane. Okay, so this is one example about a point in the plane, right? So the point is negative 2, 4. Okay, negative 2, 4. So the plane is xy plane, right? Xy plane. So go this way is positive. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go to the right. Go to the left. You got negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. Go to the left. Go up, positive. Go down, negative. Okay, go down, negative. So for any point in the plane, okay, for any point in the plane, because this is xy plane, so we use x comma y, stand for a point in the plane. Okay, x-axis go left and right, y-axis go up and down. Okay, go up and down. So now what is the negative 2 and negative 2 comma 4? Okay, negative 2 comma 4. So that means x is 2, y is 4. So x is negative 2. Sorry, x is negative 2 means we go left 2 from the center. Start from the center, right? Go left 2. We go to x is negative 2. And then turn up 4. Okay, turn up 4. So x means we go left or right. We go this way. Y means we go up or down. Okay, we go up or down. So x comma y means we go left 2 and then up 4. Okay, and then up 4. So let's look. Okay, so let's put the previous again. So this is point B, the second point. So here is B. The first one is A. Negative 2, 4. So this is A. So where's negative 2, 4? We first go to negative 2 and then we go up 4. So this is our A. Okay. So now let's look at point B. Okay, point B. So point B, first x is 4. So left or right, we need 4. So we go to right 4 units. And then up or down is -2. So we go down 2. Okay, we go down 2. So it's right 4 and then down 2. Okay, so we have 2 movements to get a point. Okay, to get a point. So let's put more points here, right? Let's put more point here. So where is -3 and 3? Okay, -3 and 3. So first we go left 3 and then up 3. So where's -3 and -3? So we go left 3 and then down 3. So this is our C, this is our D. So let's go to C. Left 3, up 3. So this is point C. And D, left 3 and then down 3. So this is point D. Okay, this is point D. So that's the basic idea of the point in the plane. Okay, of the point in the plane. Okay, so here is the definition of x-intercept and the y-intercept. It's too complicated. Okay, it's too complicated. So what's the definition? What's the key idea of x-intercept? So x-intercepts on the graph and x-axis. Okay, so what's y-intercept? Y-intercept on the graph and on the y-axis. Okay, on the y-axis. So another way to remember that, okay, so for all the x-intercept, the y part is 0. We only have the first number. We can move left or right, but no up and down. For all the y-intercepts, the x part is 0. Okay, the x part is 0. Okay, so x-intercept on the x-axis, y-intercept on the y-axis, and they are both on the graph. Okay, intercepts means common points of the graph and the axis. Okay, of the graph and the axis. Okay, so this is a picture. So based on this picture, what is the graph? The graph is this straight line, right? The graph is this line, so I make it red. The graph is this red line. So x-intercept is where this graph, the red graph, touch x-axis. So where is this? 3. Okay, so -3. So x-intercept is -3, 0. Okay, yeah. So is -3, 0. So where is y-intercept? Y-intercept is where the graph, the red line, touch y-axis. So this is 5. Okay, so this is x part is 0, y part is 5. Okay, y part is 5. So based on the picture, we can find x and y intercepts. This is the line, right? This is the line. So let's look at a harder one. Okay, for this curve. Okay, for this curve. So what's the x-intercept? So we have these 3 x-intercepts. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so x-intercepts, we've got the first one, -3, 0. And then we got the second one, so this is the first one. The second one is -1, 0, 0. And the last one is 2, 0. Okay, so they are on the x-axis. We only have one y-intercept. Okay, one y-intercept. So this is on the y-axis and on the graph. So it's 0, -6. Okay, it's 0, -6. Okay, so this is the definition of x and y intercepts. Okay, so now let's go back a little bit to Math 5. Okay, to Math 5. Let's look at this final exam, Math 5 final exam question, right? Final exam question. So they want to find the slope. Okay, they want to find the slope. So if you use x and y intercept, so what's the slope? Slope is negative y-intercept over x-intercept. Okay, so if you can find x and y-intercept, you can find the slope of the line. Okay, slope of the line. So for this example, y-intercept is 3, x-intercept is -5. So slope is negative 3 over -5. Okay, -5. So it is positive 3 over 5. Okay, positive 3 over 5. So x and y intercepts are very important. Okay, are very important. So if you know the linear equation, so let's look at this example. Okay, you are given this linear equation. Okay, and then we are trying to find the picture, the graph of this linear equation. Okay, the graph of this linear equation. So you can see the difference of these four choices A, B, C, D are the intercepts. Okay, here is 5 and 6. This is 5 and -6. This is -5, -6. This is -5, +6. So if you know x is positive or negative, y is positive or negative, you can find the graph. Okay, you can find the graph of this line. So how did we find x and y intercept? We use the property, right? We use the property. So what's x intercept? So it's x comma 0. So y part is 0. Okay, so y part is 0. 5x minus 6 times 0 is -30. 5x is -30. Divided by 5, divided by 5, x is -6. So y-intercept is on the y-axis. So the x part is 0, and we only have the y part, right? So now plug in 5 times 0 minus 6y is -30. So this deleted. 5 times 0 is 0. Divided by -6. Divided by -6. Y is +5. So we got -6 and +5. -6, +5. So B is the answer. Okay? B is the answer. So that's the review part for the graph questions in Math 5. Okay, in Math 5. We use x and y, and then we have x-intercept and y-intercept. Okay? Yeah. So now, when we talk about the graph of function, so graph of function, the y part is f of x. Okay? So somehow this is the only change. Okay, this is the only change. So when you look at x and the y plane, coordinate plane, so you can imagine this is x and the f of x, which is the y coordinate. Okay, which is the y coordinate. Okay, yeah. So now let's look at the graph of linear functions. So again, the only change is we change the y part to a new notation f of x, which stands for the output of input x. Okay, input x. Okay, so let's first look at the graph of this one. Okay, the graph of this one. So we need input and output. F of x is 2x. So this will give us a point f on the graph, and then we need a picture. Okay, we need a picture. And then we choose integers. So select integers between -2 and +2. Okay, so that's the input. Okay, that's the input. So it's 2, 1, 0, -1, -2. So those are the input. Okay, those are the input. Corresponding output. So f of 2 is 2 times 2, 4. So this function is just double function, right? Double function. We just double the input. So f of 1, double the input, we got 2. F of 0, so it's 2 times 0, 0. F of -1, so 2 times -1 is -2. -2, f of -2, so this is 2 times -2 is -4. Okay, it's -4. So from the given formula, f of x is 2x, we got 5 inputs, 5 output. So this gives us 5 points. So we got 2, 4, 1 input, 1 output. And then we got 1, 2. We got 0, 0. We got -1, -2. And then we got -2, -4. Okay, we got -2, -4. Okay, yeah. So now let's label them A, B, C, D, right? So this is point A, this is point B, this is point C, D, and E. So A is 2, 4. So we go right 2, go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here is A. Okay. And then B is 1, 2. So 1, go up to 1, 2. So this is B. C is the center, right? C is the center. 0, 0. Okay, so here is x. This is f of x, which is the y-axis. Okay, y-axis. And then -1, -2, that's the -1, -2. So here is D. -2, -2, -4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So here is E. Okay, here is E. So now I'm going to change the color. So what's the graph? We're connecting A, B, C, D, E. Okay, so the graph of this function is a straight line. Okay, is a straight line. So this is the graph of linear function. It's very similar to y is equal to 2x. We just use the new notation f of x, and then we use a new idea to graph it. We use input comma output to graph the line. Okay, to graph the line. So now let's look at the graph of g. Okay, the graph of g. Okay, so the graph of g, so we choose x is the input, and then g of x, which is 2x minus 3, that's the output, and then the graph is x comma g of x. Okay, so we got some points, and then we got a picture in the xy plane, right? X, y is g of x. Okay, we use input output to graph it. Okay, to graph it. Okay, so now let's look at the input. Okay, again is -2 and 2, so 2, 1, 0, -1, -2. So what is g of 2? Is 2 times 2 minus 3, which is 1. Okay, so double it and then decrease by 3. So what is g of 1? G of 1 is 2 times 1 minus 3. So 2 minus 3, -1. And then g of 0 is 2 times 0 minus 3. So this is -3. 0 minus 3. G of -1. So this is 2 times -1 minus 3. So -2 minus 3, -5. The last one, g of -2. So this is 2 times -2 minus 3. So -4 minus 3, -7. Okay, -7. So we got input, output for 5 integers. So now we got 5 points, right? 2, 1. -1, -1. +1, the output is -1. 0, output is -3. -1, output -5. And -2, output -7. Okay, -7. So now let's plot these 5 points. Okay, 5 points. A, B, C, D, and E. 2, 1. Okay, so here is 2, 1. So this is A. B, 1, -1. So 1, -1. So this is B. 0, -3. So -1, -2, -3. So here is C. -1, -5. So -1 go down 5. So 4, 5. So here is D. And then -2, -7 go down 2 more. 6 and 7. So here is E. So what's the graph? You connect A, B, C, D, E. You got the graph. Okay, so it also looks like a straight line. Okay, it also looks like a straight line. And the property is the graph of linear functions are lines. Okay, are lines. Okay, so finally let's talk about graph of quadratic functions. Okay, quadratic functions. So today I will only do the easiest one, so which is f of x is x squared. Okay, is x squared. So today we will use 5 input, 5 output to draw the graph. And next lecture I will use special properties to draw the graph. Okay, vertex, symmetry, parabola to draw the graph. Okay, to draw the graph. So x squared. Okay, x squared. So what's the input? You just get second power of the input. That's the output. And then you pair it, make the point on the graph, okay? And then we draw the graph. So here is x, here is the y-axis, which is f of x, okay? Which is f of x. Okay, so now we still choose those 5 integers, okay? 5 integers. So this is 2, 1, 0, -1, -2, okay? And then we want to know the output. Okay, output. So f of x is x squared. So everything we just square it. Okay, we just square it. So f of 2 is 2 squared, then this is 4. F of 1 is 1 squared, 1. F of 0 is 0 squared, which is 0. F of negative 1, so it's negative 1 squared is 1. F of negative 2 is negative 2 squared, which is 4. Okay, which is 4. So for any function, we can use this idea to graph it. Choose 5 input, get 5 output, and then we put input output together to make a point. So 2, 4 input output. Point B is 1, 1. Okay, point C is 0, 0. And then D, input negative 1, output 1. E, input negative 2, output 4. Okay, output 4. So now let's draw the picture, right? So here is C, and then A is 2, 4. 2 go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here is A. And then 1, 1 is B, so this is B. Negative 1, positive 1, that's D. So go left 1, go up 1. So here is D. Left 1, up 1. E, left 2, up 4. So left 2, up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here is E. Okay, here is E. So now we draw a good curve connecting A, B, C, D, E. So from A to B to C, go up to D, go up to E. Okay, go up to E. So that's the graph of x squared. Okay, f of x is equal to x squared. Okay, so it is a parabola. Okay, it is a parabola. So next time you will see a lot of parabolas. Okay, a lot of parabolas. Okay, so that's our today's lecture. First, you have to remember, you have to understand what is function. Function means you get some numbers as input and then follow a formula. Given formula, you got the corresponding output. There's a unique output. Okay, and then the graph of a function is input, comma output in the xy plane. Okay, in the xy plane, and then we plot 5 points to draw the picture today. Okay, to draw the picture today. Okay, the important thing is x and the y intercepts. So next time we will use them. Okay, we will find x and y intercepts for the parabola. Okay, for the parabola. So this is the easiest case. We have the same x and y intercept. So x intercept is C for this example is 0, 0, and the y intercept is also this point C 0, 0. Okay, 0, 0. So this is a special case. And we will also explain why sometimes a quadratic equation has 2 solutions, sometimes it has 1 solution, sometimes it has no solutions by using x-intercepts. Okay, by using x-intercepts. Okay, yeah, so that's today's lecture. Okay, that's today's lecture.